Welcome back to Mic'd Up and Misinformed with your hosts Lunch Money and Mad Dog. Today we're going to be breaking down and giving out our predictions for UFC Fight Night, Della Maddalena versus Prates. Let's get right into it, bro.
Let's go. All right, this first fight.
Such a banger main event, bro.
Oh yeah, this card's pretty good. The whole main card is pretty stacked, actually. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
couple of older guys, but it's still a good card.
and I want to note, like, for these early fights that we're going to give our predictions on, you guys may not know the names of these fighters, but some of these guys are up and coming and looking to make a statement. So, I mean, I feel like you should definitely be tuning in for these early prelims because, especially, I always talk about, some of these newer fighters, are fighting to, get more money in the UFC and they're going to be really chasing that finish bonus. So, or possibly
Sure.
trying to get a fight of the night. So, these early prelims are going to be electric, in my opinion.
Yeah, and sometimes these matchups are really skewed, right? So it's like they'll start giving some better quality competitors to, or I should say they're giving worse quality competitors to better guys to try to get them moving up the ranks. So I feel like there's some value in the undercard sometimes.
And just how, like, the other weekend when the fights were in Canada, they always try to have primarily Canadian fighters, when it's in Canada. And this weekend, it's going to be in Australia. So I think in every single matchup, there's an Aussie fighter. So that's, the home crowd will definitely have a big favorite in each fight
Yeah.
here. So let's get right into it, bro. First fight, we have Marwan Rahiki versus Ollie Schmid. Who do you got in this one?
Man, you just threw me for a loop, dude. Who's the first fight? I think that fight got canceled, bro.
Rahiki and Schmid.
Yeah.
Okay, we can go ahead and skip that though. I would have picked Rahiki for sure though. All right. So next up, are you seeing Cody Steele versus Dom Marfan?
Yeah, that's the first fight.
Okay, let's start with that one then. So we have Dom
All right.
Marfan versus Cody Steele. Who do you got?
So I'm going with Dom Marfan. I feel like he's fought a little bit better competitors. I don't really know much about Cody Steele. It looked like when I checked him out, he's got a couple of KOs. But Dom Marfan, he went to the distance with Park, and I think he's better with the subbing and grappling.
So it looks like um, it's Dom Marfan is 26 years old, Steele's 31, and Dom Marfan has a 4-inch reach advantage on Steele, so that may play a factor. Steele, since being in the UFC, he's 1-1. He won on the Contender Series by knockout, and then he lost a unanimous decision in his last fight, February 8th. So he's looking to avenge that loss here. What's the odds, may I ask?
We got Dom Marfan at plus 175 and Cody Steele at minus 210.
Man, I feel like those odds should be a lot closer personally because I do edge Cody Steele to win by a decision here, but I definitely think that with hearing the odds, Don Marfon definitely has a lot of value on his side as an underdog.
I like the value there.
So I'd probably go
And I,
dog or pass after hearing those odds.
yeah. And I think the grappling will get the control time.
Yeah. All right, man. Next up, we have Jonathan McAuliffe versus Themba Garimbo. Man, I feel like, no disrespect to Themba, but I feel like he's already peaked in the UFC and he's been a little bit underwhelming, if anything. I know he was really
Wow,
popular
really?
when he first got here because he was on a little hot streak. And I know, like, I think The Rock gave him a house or, bought him a house or something to help, like, boost his career. And he got a lot of attention for that. And I know he's a hard worker and everything, but at 35 years old and the way he's performed of recent, I feel like he's kind of like hit his peak already, and he's more so on the
Yeah.
decline, on the incline. And then on the other side, McAuliffe has only lost one fight, and he's 27 years old. The reach is the exact same, and they're about the same height as well. In this matchup, I got to go with the youth and take McAuliffe. I would say I would probably take him on a parlay anywhere under minus 325. What's the odds here?
Sure. Yeah. They got Jonathan at minus 240. So I think, like you said, I think you nailed it, dude. I think Thimba peaked out. I think he kind of hit the ceiling already. You don't see a lot of growth from him. I think Jonathan's going to come in and get the job done. I could see him, same thing, taking it down to the ground, grappling, and getting a submission here.
Yeah, I think it'd be safer for me. I'm gonna probably throw him in a parlay, but I bet that submission prop pays pretty good, and you could get that at plus money too if that was something that you were targeting.
Yeah, so Jonathan at
His
plus
last
200
his
for
last four
submission.
fights, three of them have been won by a submission, and he just submitted Oban Elliott, who's a great UFC fighter. So I definitely think that sub prop's live, bro.
I think it's live, and at plus 200, I love it.
Yeah, that's worth a stab at for sure. A little sprinkle. But yeah, I think McAuliffe is definitely. I don't want to say lock, but he's. I feel pretty sure about that pick.
He's up there. I feel good about him too.
Next up, we have Ben Johnson versus Wes Schultz. In this matchup, both guys are pretty good on the ground. I just think Ben Johnson's a little bit better. I think that he's going to edge out a decision win here. Um, Small chance of submission, but I'm just overall I'm going to take Ben Johnson here, and he's the hometown favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel iffy about this fight, so I'm gonna stay away, dude. Ben Johnson at Ben Johnston at minus 150 and Wes Schultz at plus 130. See, I feel like Schultz is he either has a really good day or he's just kind of flat, and it's like it's hard to bet on someone when you just don't know how they're gonna show up. So it's like I feel like if you see him and he looks good at weigh-ins and he comes out looking good, Wes probably got a little bit of advantage. I think Johnston will probably get the win overall. It just, I don't know. I feel iffy about this fight.
Yeah, and I might just be crazy thinking this, but I feel like when you're when it's in another country and you know they're from that area, like the Johnson being the Aussie here, I just feel like that could play a factor because the crowd every time
For
he
sure.
lands a strike, the crowd's going to be extra loud and intense, and that could
Yeah,
influence the decision if it was if it came down to a split for any reason.
for sure. Plus the traveling, right? It's like Wes has got to travel further. He's out of his element. He's not, doing his normal routine. He's not doing his normal training or, weight cuts. So I don't know how some of these guys probably go weeks in, advance, but it's like I don't know how long Wes has been there. Has he been there 3 days or 2 months? Like how much has he adapted to the time zone difference?
Yeah, I definitely think for the value there, it's on Johnson. But yeah, we'll see what we get from West because you're right. It's hard to predict how he's going to come in. Some guys are going to fight hard no matter what, but and then there's some fighters where it's like, man, is their head really in there right now? Is their mind right now? Like you kind of question their their mentality coming into the fight.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
Next up, we have Colby Thickenese versus Vince Morales. Canese is 8-1. Morales is 16-10. I feel like the UFC uses Morales as like this backup guy that when they need him to fill a fight card or fill a
They're like, come
fight,
on, bro.
he's the guy. He's one of the guys that they call and knows that he'll come fight on short notice. So I feel like Vince is more of like a plug-in fighter, and then Colby Thickenese, I feel like he has a lot more growth to still come in the fight game.
Yeah.
He's more so on the incline right now in his career. He's only 26 years old. He's only lost once where Morales has been there. He's a vet in the game. He's 35 years old. He's always been more of a 500 fighter in the UFC.
Yeah.
That's the reason why
Exactly.
he's
He's
not
kind of,
consistently in it.
yeah, he's that middle line, gatekeeper basically. So I think this will still be a good fight, but I'm definitely taking Colby on this one at minus 128. The line's a little too close for me. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the value's definitely on Colby. I would have taken him minus up to a minus 180, 200. I do respect the experience that Morales has, and that'll definitely be an advantage on his side. But when it comes down to age and momentum right now, I think Colby's definitely the play here, especially with the odds being fairly close.
100%.
Next up, we have, and these odds are outrageous. I remember looking the other day,
These odds are
one of the
outrageous.
sportsbook kiosk, and this is one of those fights you have to take dog or pass. But we have Jacob Malkoun versus Gerald Mearshart. Mearshart, if you're taking Mearshart and you want to take the dog, I would say even his specialty is his jujitsu.
Oh,
Mearshart, if
yeah,
he
his
wins, he's gonna
weight.
pull a submission. And you know what? I could see that happening here, bro. Like
Yes,
Malcolm's a great
baby.
fighter
Yeah,
and he's a good
yeah,
wrestler, but Mearshart wants to be on the ground. You know, he doesn't mind
yeah.
being on his back the whole fight as long as he only needs 1 second to pull off that submission. So for me, I think it's definitely worth a sprinkle. Number one, to just take Mearshart as a dog. You know, he's a seasoned
Yep.
vet, but his specialty is jujitsu. I mean, he's one of the better,
Yeah.
jits practitioners in
He's
in the
got
entire
29
UFC.
wins. I think he's got 29 wins just submission alone. I
He's
mean,
got
he's
to be
got more
top
submission
five in
wins than.
submissions in UFC history. Got to, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I would be surprised if he's not top two or three. I mean,
Yeah,
29
I'm
wins
taking
just
that, bro.
submission is insane. Yeah, so I love Gerald here, dude. I think the value is on him. I think he lost like 5 fights in a row, which kind of sucks, but I think this is his last kind of hoorah. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe even retire after this, or maybe he's got one or two more fights. But I think him by submission at plus 1500 is the dog play
Yeah,
of the
that's worth
day,
like
man.
a tenth or a quarter a unit. You know, it's worth a sprinkle.
Oh,
And Malkoon, dude, he does have a lot of power. He could definitely
he
knock out
does. He
Mearshart,
does.
but man, I just feel like Mearshart, he has the experience on his side. I do think his fight IQ is a little bit higher, but
Yeah,
both cannot deny that Mearshart has way too many miles and too much damage accumulated in his career, so that'll be a
he does.
disadvantage for him.
Yeah. But I could see Jacob even like catching him and Mearshot going down to the ground and then just catching him in a submission like during the roll or during the ground and pound. So like you said, it probably won't necessarily be super clean, but I kind of see him getting the job done here, dude, and maybe ending on a high note.
This is what's gonna happen, bro. Malkoon's gonna wobble Mearshart. Mearshart's gonna be wobbling, right? Malkoon's gonna go in for a takedown. Mearshart's gonna snatch that neck, put him in the guillotine, and me and Mad Dog are gonna be jumping up and down, partying like
Hell
crazy.
yeah.
That's
I
what's
love
gonna
it,
happen.
dude. I love it.
All right, dude. I'm glad we're on the same page. That's funny, bro, because he's a huge
I know
under.
that's so crazy we're on the same page with that one. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Junior Taffa versus Kevin Christian. I don't know too much about Kevin Christian, but I know both the Taffa bros have really are really weak when it comes to getting taken down, takedown defense, and then being able to get back up on their feet. Let's look at Kevin Christian's profile here and see what he
Kevin's more
specializes in.
well rounded. He's got 9 finishes. I feel like it was kind of 50-50.
Yeah, I think Taffa's the favorite here too. Am I right?
Yeah, Taffa is, which I don't know why. I'm taking Kevin at plus 175.
Yeah,
Again,
Kevin
it's
got a
dog or
submission
die.
on the contender series, and then he lost by sub to Elikana. But that Elikana is a good fighter, so
Yeah,
I don't blame that
exactly.
loss. I'm taking Christian here, especially being a dog. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go out of my way and say Kevin Christian's the best underdog play of the card so far.
Well,
I
other
can't
than
take the Taffa Bros,
Michelle.
especially being a favorite.
I can't take Taffa, dude. It's tough, especially at a favorite. The value is not there.
Yeah, and he's a 50-50 fighter. He's 6-5. I see Taffa going 6-6. I'm taking Christian in this matchup for sure. I will
Yeah,
say Taffa is the will be favored by the crowd, since he is from Australia.
yeah.
You know,
Home favorite.
yeah, so if it goes to decision, watch out. But I think Christian could win on control time or submission. I see two paths to victory, either pulling the sub or control time to a decision win.
Yeah.
So next up, I'm staying away from this next one, bro. We got Cam Roston versus Robert Bryzchek. Who do you got? Excuse me. Who do
Dude,
you got?
we're literally on the same path, dude. So
It's gonna be a close fight, bro. Roston
yeah,
should have beaten, but I think he's too favored.
I think it's whoever gets the KO, bro. Cam's got 13 finishes. Robert's got 12 finishes. It's like these guys. This is gonna be a banger of a fight, but this is one of those fights where it's like they're just gonna be slugging each other, and one dude's just gonna drop. It's like one dude's just gonna get caught with the left hook or an uppercut, and that's how it's gonna end. But anything, take the fight to not go the distance. They have it under 1.5 at plus money, so I mean that there's some value there. I think under 2 rounds is probably really your best pick here, but I
The
say
fact that they
either.
have it at one over 1.5 rounds shows how much power and how
Yeah,
likely a knockout is to happen here in this matchup. So
it's
whoever
going.
you guys lean, you might as well take them by knockout if they're going to be throwing the way
Yeah,
that everybody's predicting.
exactly, Gene.
That's going to be a barn burner. I definitely am more interested after hearing that. So, all right, man. Next up, dude, I know everybody and their dog out in Australia is begging for this guy to finally get a win. He's been on a long losing streak, man. He's
Six
turning he's
six
low key
fights
turning
lost.
into Tony Ferguson, bro.
Yeah,
He's
exactly,
having a
dude.
Tony Ferguson ending. You know, I know he was never as good as Tony Ferguson, so I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
respect
yeah.
that. But we got Tai Tuivasa, the guy we're talking about. We're just begging for this guy to do his shoey again, man. He's electric with
That's what
wins.
everyone wants, dude. Everyone just wants his antics. They love him on the mic. They want to see the shoey.
Yeah, and he's fighting Louis Sutherland, who this is a
Just
great
got
good
KO.
matchup, man. Both guys like chasing the knockout.
Yep.
Bro, I hate to be a party spoiler, but there's gonna be no shoeys this weekend, bro.
Dude, no way, bro. We're on the same wavelength tonight. That's
Tattoo
crazy.
Avasta, bro. If this was a couple years back, I probably would have taken a chance on him. But I feel
Yeah.
like in his last fight, he got gassed out so quick, and he looked like
He's
crap.
been
Like it looked like
struggling.
during that
Yeah.
whole year or two layoff, however long he took, it looks like he
He
was
just
just drinking beers,
didn't do
going to the
anything.
bar,
Yeah.
and just kind of partying. Like he didn't look in fight shape at all, and I just don't see it magically happening now. This is a
Nope.
perfect spot to take Sutherland too because is every the odds I want to say going to be they're pretty close right now, and
They're
everybody's
good.
going to take Tuivasa because they're big fans of him.
Yes. So Sutherland at plus 173. The value's on the underdog again, dude.
Wow, bro,
Yeah.
I feel like it should be a coin flip odd fight. But
Yes. I was shocked it wasn't closer. Because again, I always go and take my picks before I go look at the odds. And I'm like, oh, this will be a good fight. You know, either one could get a KO or something could happen. And then I
I
saw
think a lot of
Sutherland
people are putting
at the
money on
plus.
Ty
Right.
too, bro. They're probably
Everybody
taking
is
him
because,
in
like you
parlays
said,
and then taking him
he's
by
the fan
knockout.
favorite. Yeah, he's the fan favorite. Everyone knows him for the shoeys. It's like he's got a recognizable name. There'll be a bunch of money gets pumped on him, and I think this is where Vegas robs people.
Yeah, and I don't want to rob people, but I want to be on the Vegas side here. Yeah, bro. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna put Sutherland in a play or two. Uh,
Yes,
if
sir.
Ty wins, I won't be mad that I lost some money because I want Ty
No.
to win. Like I said, it's electric and it's fun when he's doing the shoey and turns
Yeah.
up the crowd. He's pretty funny on the microphone, but in reality, Louis, I think I'd
Disappointing
probably put
win,
him at a
man.
minus 115, 120. Honestly,
Yeah, I would have taken Louis exactly, even at the favorite. As long as it wasn't like over 200, I would have taken him. So
some
plus
people
money,
might be
that's
like, "Oh, Tai Tuivasa has a better resume. He's fought better fighters."
he
Especially in the
did.
heavyweight division, you can't judge how he looked 6 years ago. The fact of the matter
Exactly.
is, he's down bad right now. As much as we don't want him
Yeah.
to, he should have been retired. He's just trying to collect another check or two right now.
Well, and same
But
thing. Them being in Australia, they probably offered him a good, payout to be on this card to come back.
yeah, and they tried giving him a better matchup than what he's had, but ain't happening, man. Next up, we have Shamil Gazeev versus Brando Piricic. Hopefully, I said that right, dude. I don't know much about Brando Piricic, but Shamil Gazeev is pretty solid for a heavyweight.
Yeah,
I
Shamil is,
it's a tough one.
and he just KO'd Louis, I think, in their last fight. I think it was those two was Louis' last fight, and he got the KO. So this is a tough one, dude. It is a pick 'em for a reason. Shamil at plus 112. I feel like his grappling is a little bit better. They both have the ability to KO. I don't know, man. This is a weird one. Same thing. I kind of feel like I'm going to stay away from this one personally. I kind of lean towards Brando having a little bit more knockout power. And I know Shamil was KO'd maybe 2 fights ago or 3 fights ago.
I think
So, I mean, both of
was
these
it by
guys.
Waldo Acosta?
Yeah. So maybe it was his last fight. But so I think just again, him coming off the KO and it's just this is kind of a weird one for me. I think, again, either one of these guys at heavyweights can get the job done.
No, I think I'm
It's
taking
over one and
Brando
a
here,
half.
bro. He's won four in a
Yeah.
row, all by knockout. So his momentum's
Yeah.
crazy. He looks like a monster, and he's 5 years younger than Gazeev. So I'm gonna take Brando here. I know I'm gonna be first and foremost. I have not seen him fight yet, or not that I can recollect, but based off looking at his resume and his momentum, I'm taking Brando, the youth, and he's got crazy momentum. 4 knockouts in a row. Give
Yeah.
me 5 knockouts after Saturday.
Yep. So yeah, I like Brando at -133.
All right, let's take that, bro. Next up, this is a pretty good matchup right here. We have Steve Erceg versus Tim Elliott. It would be a hell of a lot closer if Elliott was more so in his prime. You know, he's pretty old now. I want to say he's in his late 30s. Um, and Steve
Yeah.
Erceg is in his prime right now. You know, this is
Yeah, he's
his
still a
time.
contender. He's still at a contender level. So Steve Erceg -230 is an easy one, hands down. I mean, Elliott still could get it done somehow, but I love Erceg here.
Elliott's a really good wrestler, and he's a really unorthodox fighter. I feel like the odds. I think Ursay should have been -290 to 325 range. I think Ursay, dude, I feel like he's a lock right here. Like Elliott is a dog, and like I
Yeah,
said, he's a good wrestler, but he's
he
39 years
is.
old. Ursay's 30. They're in a totally different place in their lives. I'm taking Ursay all day.
Yep. Yeah, -230. That's a great play.
Yeah, I'm taking that on parlay 100%, bro. Next up, we got Benil Dariush versus Killian Salakid. This is another one of those matchups where if Benil was more in his prime, you know, he's more so on the decline now in his
Yeah.
career. He's accumulated a lot of damage, and Killian Salakid is an absolute savage. You know, maybe not even started his prime yet. He's only 26 years old. This guy's an
Wow.
absolute killer, bro.
It's crazy because he is kind of new to the scene and he's coming on so strong. So hopefully he can keep this momentum, keep himself clean and, in the gym, training hard regularly. As long as he can stay hungry, I mean, this kid's got some serious growth, dude.
Hey, I'm gonna say this right now. He's gonna be the next biggest Australian star from the UFC after Volkanovski. He's gonna take the throne from
Yeah,
Volkanovski and be the next guy that represents Australia for the UFC.
I believe that, dude. I could totally see that. Because
He is in
Volk's
a hard
starting to.
division, the lightweight division, but man, if he beats Dariush, he's gonna jump a whole lot of spots, and I don't think a lot of people would want to fight him in the top 10. He's a nightmare
Yeah,
matchup for a lot of guys.
that exactly. And that we don't really talk about that, but there is some of these guys that nobody wants to fight, right? It's like they have a hard time putting cards together because nobody wants to fight them, or it's some young up and comer that is willing to take anything, and it's
Especially like this
basically a race.
Salakid, he's coming from outside the rankings. So, you know, once he gets up there, and a lot of guys don't want to fight down in the rankings,
Yeah,
but if they do, they want it to be a matchup they really believe they can win. And like we said,
yeah,
Salakid is a nightmare matchup for a lot of guys. So, what's the odds on this one? I would imagine Salakid is probably -500.
yeah. -450 exactly.
I'm still gonna
Yeah,
put it on a play, bro.
yeah. No, I like that for sure.
I gotta take that, bro. That's gonna be in a parlay. I like Benil, and he's a seasoned veteran, but again, he's just not in his prime anymore. He's more so 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door when it comes to retirement. And Killian is, it's in Australia. He's from there. He's looking to be the next star in the UFC and to represent Australia. And this is his time, bro. Like this is that
Yeah,
time for him to show everybody, hey, watch out. This guy's coming to take the throne in the lightweight division.
and the crowd's gonna erupt, dude.
Yeah, I would say he even gets a knockout here. All right, bro. Next up, we have arguably one of the best fight matchups of the entire year. Two elite strikers. One more so heavy boxing, the other one a pure kickboxer. We got Jack Della Maddalena, the former champ, versus Carlos Prates. You want to start?
Dude, I mean, this is a crazy matchup, man. This is definitely gonna be a banger. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be nuts, dude. Honestly, it's gonna be interesting to see how how fast they really start to get after each other. This is one of those times where I think the first round they both might kind of be a little hesitant and try to counterfight the other and see where the weakness is in the other component. And then once they start, that second round comes out, they start, feeling each other. I think it's going to get crazy. I really like Prates here overall. I think he's got a little bit more power in his hands. I think he's got a little bit more ability. But if Jack can keep the distance and keep just striking and not get caught up like in the dirty boxing, I mean, either one of these guys is live. But I lean towards Prates here.
Oh man.
There it is. There's the split. There's always one. There's always one.
I got protest too, bro.
Oh my God, let's go.
I got
That's
bro.
crazy.
So this is how
Let's
I see the fight going out.
go.
I feel pretty similar. I feel like first round they're really going to be just out throwing a lot of feints, getting a read on each other. It's a 5 round
Yeah,
fight. Both guys are going to be patient. Both guys are able to go all 5 rounds. Um, the only thing I'm worried, since I am on the protest side, the only thing I'm worried about is Della Maddalena throwing more volume because a lot of times Prates has been a little bit too patient in his fights,
yeah,
and then he gets away with getting a knockout because it doesn't go to the judge's scorecard. So he's
yeah.
really hunting that knockdown where sometimes it leads to a little bit too much inactivity. But I will say an advantage for him is Jack Della Maddalena might be a little bit of a better boxer, but Prates has a lot more power, and the big difference here is going to be the kicks. He's a pure kickboxer, and Jack doesn't throw near as many kicks as Prates does. So Prates will probably try to keep the distance as much as he can. Where, like you said, Del Maddalena is going to want to be in his face, in the pocket, trading punches, but Prates is going to try to keep it kicking range so he can throw the kicks, take his calves out, and then when Maddalena lunges forward with a big punch, Prates is going to want to counter him and knock him
Exactly.
out.
Yep. Yep.
So
I love it,
it's
dude.
gonna be like watching a chess match. Honestly, I mean these are two
Yeah,
absolutely
exactly. That's the way
spectacular
to explain it.
strikers.
Yeah. This is going to be more strategic. They're not just going to be out there like a bar fight or a brawl. These guys are going to be way more strategic, and neither one wants to get caught by the other guy, right? So, like you said, they're going to be in there just kind of feeling each other out, trying to find where the gaps are. And yeah, that's the only thing that scares me a little bit is that slow start. Again, I don't expect a whole lot in that first round, but
Yeah, and honestly, like there is a world where it could be a really boring fight because they're both too patient because they respect each other too much. You know, like I said with Prates leg kicks, if he lands a couple hard ones, then Della Maddalena is not going to be able to have as much power get off his punches. So he's going to try to,
yeah,
the faster Prates gets on those kicks, the faster Della Maddalena is going to want to close the distance, and then it's going to be fireworks from that point on.
yeah,
I
yeah. I
highly
love
doubt
it.
any takedowns are shot in this fight. It's going to be strictly standing up, you know,
Yeah,
calf kicks and a lot of boxing.
and this could go to decision, 100%.
Yeah. But either way, depending on who you like in this matchup, if you're a parlay person, you can't go wrong with either side because it's almost a coin flip odds. So you can hedge yourself as long as you get your other legs to hit. You're in the clear for a hedge. So whatever side you're on, easy hedge. I think Prates is a lot more likely to knock out Jack than Jack is to knock out Prates, though.
That's
Prates
how I
can win by
feel.
decision or knockout.
That's how I feel. I feel like it's pretty even, and Prates has got a little bit more power. I think that's going to make the difference. Plus the leg kicks.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna do like a couple like
That's
personally. I'm
fine.
gonna do some crazy like plus 2,000 parlays. But for my um for my lock parlay, I'm
So
taking.
let me do mine first, real quick, because I have it up, bro. I'm sorry, I don't want
Oh
to
yeah,
jump
yeah.
you, but
Go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
I'm going to do Jonathan Mikalev, and I'm going to take Solakid, and that basically it's at minus 139, parlaying those two.
Hey, that's fire. I like that a lot.
That's it. I'm just going to take and we're still up 3 units overall, so we're still in good shape. I'm just going to try to take the easy win here.
Beautiful. I like it a lot, bro.
All right, tell me what you
What
want.
about What about your Martingale?
Yeah. All right, so the Martingale, I went with Colby Thickenese, Steve Urseg, and then Prates at the end.
Okay. Thinking he should get the job done right away. So
I think
I
so. I
like
think
it.
it'll be done right then. I mean,
Whenever
there's
we're on the same page all the way, we usually smash, bro. So this might be a
dude, it's
heavy week.
crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. And then we picked a bunch of underdogs too, so I'm feeling extra excited now.
Yeah, we're about to turn it up. All right, bro. So, um, all right, I'm I'm taking This is going to be for half a unit. Sutherland.
All right.
That Brando.
Brando.
Urseg.
Perseg.
Salakid.
Bam.
And Prates. And thick knees, sorry.
Oh yeah, this guy's stacked it up right now.
I hope I got that to like plus 700.
Are you kidding me? Plus 2671.
Bro, that's a banger.
Because almost all these are under 200, except for Solakid, and then Louis at plus 173.
Bro,
So you
that's a
want to do this for half a unit or a quarter unit?
since it pays so good, let's do a quarter unit, but I was going to do a half.
Let's do a quarter.
Yeah, it's safer. And then my um parlay is going to be let's see. I'm going to take Salakid and Prates, bro.
I love it.
I'll say like a unit and a half.
All right, let's do that. I'm down. And that's at plus 127. So I
I
mean
like
that's
it
good.
because you got to assume Salakid is going to win easily, and then now you got a little bit of a plus money on the main event.
Yep. No, I like it, dude. I think it's genius.
So,
So
all
even with
right,
that, we're
we
still up like
smash
a
it.
quarter of a unit, even with those bets in. So we've been doing well this year.
Hey, let's see, dude. You want to do one for a tenth of a unit, but it's going to be like insane.
So yeah, let's do it.
All right, bro. This is going to be like plus like 7,000. All
All
right,
right, let's
I'll
do
do
it.
ones we agree on too. Okay. All
All
right,
right.
Malkeith. Or
Yeah.
sorry, McAuliffe. McAuliffe. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Um, Thickenese,
Yep.
Meerschaert,
Heck yeah.
Kevin Christian,
Yep.
um, Sutherland,
Yep.
Salakid, and Prates.
Let's go. All right, that's a
Bro, that
7 leg.
bro, I bet that pays crazy.
Plus 34,000. 3450.
Oh my god, bro, we're gonna be partying like crazy if that hits.
Hell yeah, let's go. That's crazy, bro.
That's not a bad one either. Like, it's really nothing that I don't think is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mearshart's probably the more risky one, but again, I think this is still live, dude. Honestly,
Yeah, that's a banger. If that
I mean,
hits,
even if you just bet $1, you'd win 340 bucks. I'll take those odds for $1.
yeah, that's a good lottery ticket right there.
Right, dude?
I'd probably put like $3 on it for a
Yeah,
thousand
exactly.
odds.
Three for 1,000. Yeah, I love it, dude.
Yeah, that's good. That's like getting a little Powerball. That's like getting a scratch ticket from the gas station.
Yeah, I mean, 3 grand. That's nice. That's a little hand pay.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I like it. Let's do it.
Boom, done, dude.
All right. So those are our plays for the UFC Fight Night. Prates versus Della Maddalena. If you like our plays, ride them. If not, fade them. Don't matter because we're gonna put these in no matter what and hope for the best. But I will
Yep.
say, knocking on wood, when me and Mad Dog are on the same page, especially like tonight, like I like to argue with you, but it's unfortunate that we
Yeah.
weren't able to argue about anything because I'm
I
not
think
gonna
it's the
get.
first time we've been on the same side like every single time, dude. Normally there's something we disagree with, but so this will
Yeah.
be a great card. This will be
Even
hitting
the
a high.
underdogs we liked were the same. Like
I know that's
that
what I'm saying.
Sutherland was crazy. The Mearshart
Yeah,
was extra
the mirror
crazy.
chart was
I was
crazy.
shocked. I was
Yeah, so
shocked.
we got some good value here, if nothing else, dude. And we'll clip it a high percentage.
Sweet. Well, yeah, that's what we got for today, guys. That's mic'd up and misinformed. Make sure you guys give us a follow on Instagram and especially on YouTube.
Yeah, like, follow, comment, subscribe, do all the things everybody says to do. It just
Yeah,
helps us out.
if you do end up seeing our YouTube anywhere, comment and give us your locks of the card. Who do you guys think is like
Yeah, I like
easy
that.
money?
I like that.
Or tell us your lock of the card, and or tell us the best possible underdog that could win outright during the fights as well.
Love it.
So, all right, guys, that's Mic'd Up and Misinformed. We out.
All right, later, guys.